Hi and welcome to Everything Space. I've been getting a load of messages from people on my TikTok and Instagram about levelling the bed. So I thought, okay, let's do a video on it. First thing you need to do though is get rid of those silly stock bed springs that come with the bed. They are useless. What you want to get are these yellow springs. These are fantastic. Anyway, let's get into this. Right, the first thing you need to do when coming to level the bed is once you've fitted the yellow springs that I was talking about earlier, as you can see I've got a PEI magnetic build plate as well. Swear by them. A lot of people don't like them. People like the glass carbonate ones. I think they're glass carbonate or something like that. Me personally, I like the PEI flexible build plates. Once you've got the yellow springs fitted, what you need to do is you want to crank the springs down as far as they go, all the way down, and you want to do this in all four corners. So what you do is keep turning it until literally the wheel won't turn anymore, and you do that on all four corners. Make sure you've got your stepper motors disabled as well. Right, now they're all locked down as tight as they'll go. They're not going anywhere. Next thing you want to do, put your bed back in its home position and bring your your Z carriage down. What you want to do is you want to get about a millimetre from the bed. I mean, my home switch is already set on this, but then what you want to do is once your head's about a millimetre, you want to pull the bed forward, move your X carriage, and you want to be roughly around about a millimetre to a millimetre and a half from the bed. Then what you want to do is you want to take an Allen key and you want to set your Z end stop. Now mine's already set and I'm not going to mess it up, but what you need to do is undo the two nuts so it's free, and then what you'll do is you'll bring the Z end stop up until you hear it click. And what you want to do is then back it off a little bit and then just slowly push it up again until it clicks. Once it clicks, hold it there and lock down your two screws. You've now set your Z end stop. Next thing you want to do once you've done that is you want to go into your menus. You want to heat both your hot end and your printer up. Now me personally, what I do is I heat them up to my hot end to 245 because that's the highest I go, because that's usually what I print PETG in, and my hot bed to 70 degrees. So let's just go heat the bed up. And with the magic of video editing, my printer's now fully up to temperature. I've actually let it sit at temperature for about 5-10 minutes just to make sure everything's warmed through. As I say, a lot of the metal parts will expand under the heat, and you want that to happen. What you need to then get yourself is a piece of A4 paper. Now what I've done is I've cut it down just to make it a bit smaller, easier to manage. And what you want to do is make sure your printer is unloaded, no filament in it at all, because you want the nozzle to be clean. With my printer, I've got a leveling program built into it. So with me, I just go to manual leveling, it will go through its whole homing sequence. So we find all the home points, and we're going to start with the bottom left corner. Make sure you got your paper underneath, and then what you want to do is you want to start releasing the tension on the bed spring, and you just want to keep turning it until you feel it pinch the paper. There we go. I can feel it pinching the paper, but I can still move it. So then we want to move on to the next, which is the top left, and we want to carry out exactly the same process. And there we go. You might be able to hear that. You can hear that it's catching the head. Then we move on to the next one, which is the top right. And we start winding the bed out. And there we go, it's caught there. And then we want to go to the bottom right, do exactly the same. I can feel it, not quite there, yeah, there we go, it's pinching it. Right, and then we want to go back to the bottom left, and now this is where we're going to start going around. Probably 3 or 4 times I'll go around, and we really start getting it homed in, because now that's quite tight. So need to start bringing the bed down a bit more. I mean, we've basically got the bed in the ballpark, and this is where we're now going to fine tune the bed. See, we got it. There we go. I can still feel that pulling. I can feel the head pulling on the paper, but I'm able to move the paper. And then we go to the top left again, and we do exactly the same thing. See, it's now pinned, so we need to back the bed back down, and there we go. And you just keep doing it until the paper runs pretty smoothly, but you know it's catching. And then again, top right. As you can see, I can just about move that, but it needs backing off. Right, there we go. And then we do the bottom right. So that's not catching at all. So we need to adjust the bed up. There we go. Now it's catching. That's actually catching a bit too much. Just back it off a bit. Yep, I think that feels about right. And then we go back to the bottom left corner again. And this is a process that you're just going to do. You'll probably do this 3 or 4 times, and every time you do it, you're fine tuning it that bit more. And where you want it is you literally want the paper to move very freely, but just catch. You want to be able to feel it just catch. And if I twist it like that, that's now too far. But if I go back a little fraction more, there we go, I can feel it just catching the paper. Once you've done that, you move on to the top left. And we're going to do the same process again. See, now that's completely loose, so we need to bring the bed back up a tad. And there we go. I can feel that just catching. If I twist it back, no catch. Literally, it's just a little fraction. And then you can feel the head catching the paper. And then we move on to the top right. So that's needs to go down a bit because it's quite stiff. Doesn't help if you turn the knob the wrong way. So I can just feel it catching the paper. Let's see if I can get any more. No, I've totally. Oh, no, it's still catching. Now it's completely free. I can't feel the head on that, so I'll tweak it back the other way, literally just a fraction. And there you go, I can feel the head now pulling on the paper. And now we'll do exactly the same for the bottom right. See, I can't feel it catching the paper at all now. So I'm going to bring the bed up a tad. There we go, I can feel that catching. Just to see if I back it off a bit. Yeah, still catching. Not catching, so just back it off a tad. There we go. And I can feel that catching, just catching the head. And we go back to the bottom left. We do it all again. And over a period of doing this of cycles of probably 4 or 5 cycles, you'll get your level exactly spot on. There we go. And we just go around again. And eventually you'll get to the point where it does it on all 4 corners, where that one's a bit, yeah, head's a bit high, so we're going to let the bed up a tad. I also find let go of the knob when you do it as well, because it's surprising how much that can make a difference. So that's just catching. And on the top right, just catching. And the thing is over a period of time you'll get a feel for it. You'll know exactly where the feel is. But that comes with experience and doing it hundreds and hundreds of times. I mean, I've been playing with 3D printers since 2014, so I wouldn't expect anyone to get the feel straight away. See, that still seems a bit too much. I'm happy with that. Just catching. And let's just go around one more time and check. Go the wrong way. There we go. Just catching. Just catching. Just catching. That's ideal. Now I would say, yeah, that's done. That bed is now leveled. What you need to do then is put some filament in, do a print, and what you need to do there is you can then do fine adjustments using your Z offset. You literally use the micro step section in your menus, and what you want to do is watch your first layer go down and just tweak your Z offset, probably 0.01, 0.02, and just tweak it until you just get that perfect adhesion. I find, because I use this printer for PETG, once I've done this process, I find that I am really, when it starts to print, it's really mashing the PETG right into the bed. So I find that I know from experience with this printer that my Z offset is 0.15. I know that from experience, and that gives me the perfect layer. If I go to 0.16, it doesn't stick. 0.15 just sticks, and I'm not getting it mashed into the bed. Now, if I ran PLA through this, my offset is, I think, around about 0.02 off the top of my head. I very rarely run PLA through this machine now. I usually run that through my other ender, and that one's calibrated for that. I mean, I'm hoping to get to a point where every material will have its own machine. Anyway, I hope that helped. Well, there you have it, folks. What I've done is I've put some links in the description for the yellow bed springs. If you could like and subscribe to the channel, it'll be fantastic, because it would help this channel grow. Till next time, cheers.